Yul Edochie is in the news again. They know how to trend. They know how to catch us and bring us into
5 and 6
into conversations like this. Now, May Edochie allegedly is suing Yul Edochie and Judy Austin for adultery. She's demanding 100 million naira in damages.
Waste of court processes, bro. Waste of court processes, man.
100 million.
I don't think it's a waste of
It's a bloody waste of
so
court process.
For me,
okay, so what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, so it's very simple.
One judge, you see, now, okay, take 100 million because
he's
he all slept with
he's legally married to his first wife.
Uh-huh.
He's illegally married to his second wife.
So, but guess what, though?
And
by law, he's legally married to that woman, the first wife.
Yeah.
But now, traditional wedding you do with this other one,
yes,
which is not recognized by law. Which is not recognized by law. So, on the surface, it's not breaking any law.
So let's first define
That's why I said it's a waste of court process,
Let's first define adultery.
Bro,
as a
let's be. The law doesn't recognize juju.
No, it doesn't. And but then when we go back to the law, legally,
this is a debate about tradition now.
It's very simple.
No. So
it's traditionally married to that.
What the law represents, what the law sees, the law doesn't see traditional marriages as being legal.
We can drag the guy as much as we want.
The point is this. It's not fornication. It's still adultery. And why is it adultery? It's because this guy has chosen to step out on a legally binding marriage. Now, the second wife, which, I mean, it's still controversial, it's illegal.
You're missing it. By law, the second wife doesn't even exist. There's no second wife in the picture.
But that's why it's called adultery. That's why it's called adultery. That's why it's going to court. Because it is, what it means is that he stepped out of a legally binding relationship to have an intimate relationship, So,
we even need to study what exactly is she suing for, though. Let's be clear.
No, according to what the news says, she's suing for adultery and wants 100 million naira.
Yes, that's why it's adultery.
Can she actually sue for that amount and get
100 million?
He get 100 million.
So the thing is this, right?
Yeah, Jack, let's hear you out.
So, the thing is, when you talk about marriages, we've talked about this guy's marriage one too many times. And you see, nobody is to say that this May will not come back to her husband in the future.
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
But you see, this whole scenario, this whole situation happening around them might just be on the surface. You see, a woman comes and says that I want to sue my husband, whom I have children with, for 100 million naira. Yeah. First and foremost, there's this gentleman who is a former presidential aspirant, by the way. Is it worth 100 million naira?
100 million.
So my thoughts is this. Is that simple?
I don't see any seriousness in this case.
Exactly. It's waste of court process.
He has disrespected his first wife, whether we like it or not. He has publicly humiliated her.
How?
And then
he's not legally.
Under the law, she has every right to take him to court and sue him for adultery.
For adultery.
So
let me ask you a question.
Whether he's married to her or not, if it's just a fling, whether it's someone that is not really serious with, it's still adultery. Adultery is that you step out of your marriage and then you have a sexual.
How do you know
intimate,
that? How do you know you're having sexual?
He's documented it online.
They have a child.
Yeah,
because they put it online.
They have a child to prove it.
Truth be told, they've put so much online that it's clear to see what's happening.
Yes,
but the scenario I want to look at now, he wants to have this lady as a second wife.
Yep.
Not as a mistress.
No, he claims that they are traditionally married.
That's what I'm saying. So in his eyes, as the man now, he is not seeing this as a mistress. He's seeing her as a second wife.
No, I think in his...
But wait, let me ask you a question. Does the customary court not recognize traditional marriage?
No, it's not legal.
Technically, by law, it's not legal. Like, it's not legally binding. It's legal, but it's not legally binding. Like, so... You could marry somebody traditionally, and as far as the law is concerned, you're not, to the best of my knowledge, you're not married.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like,
when certain things go to the courts, do you understand? A traditional marriage doesn't hold as much water as a court marriage.
Yeah.
Even your tradition, even if your religious marriages don't hold the weight of a court marriage. At the end of the day, what's done in court is more binding legally.
Well, in my own opinion,
but we are traditional people. So we're cultural people at the same time.
In my own opinion, I'm like, this guy has clearly said, he hasn't told anybody that he wants to leave his first wife.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't. He has not said she's a bad woman. He just wants another woman.
Another wife.
Another wife.
Yes.
He will leave her, I beg.
So wait, let me ask you a question. According to the law, it is illegal for you to have a second wife.
Which is adultery.
No.
So wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, it is illegal.
So are you saying that he can't take this Judy?
It's not
Judy,
illegal.
Right? The other lady.
Yes.
I think technically you can't be
He
married.
can't take her to the court to
You
marry
can't
her.
be married to
technically
two
you can't be
people.
married to two people, yeah.
No.
I think you can't be
Legally.
married to two
Oh,
people legally.
really?
No,
You can't.
No, listen, in the
Really?
courts, but like our Islamic brothers
Exactly
who
my
tend to
point.
marry.
Everybody-
Everybody,
legal.
they don't go.
That's not
They don't
legal.
go to court. They don't do
That's
that.
not
They
legal.
don't do that.
But wait, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Is
but
that,
that's what I'm
don't we
saying. He
have
didn't go
anything-
to court.
Don't
He
we have
did the
anything like
traditional
He went to
Sharia
court with
courts
May.
anymore?
with the
in this
first one.
The first one.
Yes.
The
So-
second one,
Sharia
he didn't go
courts
to
now.
court. So he's not, that's why, like, he's not breaking any law.
No, he is because
How?
he is legally married to his first wife.
Fantastic.
Wait, let's leave out the fact that this is what he wants. Yul Edochie wants to be married to a second wife.
Okay.
But he's legally still married to his first wife.
But he's
And
also
the only
legally
thing-
not married to the second wife.
He's not legally married to the second
So
wife.
where is he
And
breaking
that's-
the law?
Wait, he's breaking the law because
How?
it's adultery. Adultery is very simple.
Define adultery.
So
So
you're having sexual relationships with another person outside of
your
your
marriage.
marriage. Whether you're married to that
95%
person
of men in
or
Africa,
not.
not Lagos, in Africa.
And this one,
Whether
this one
or
has a-
not
this one has a
whether or
child.
not your
Guilty.
wife
She
approves
has
of
a
it or
child
not.
with him.
Wait.
So the wife has a case, a strong case.
Olamide,
But no,
whether
no,
your
Olamide,
wife
there's
approves
no
of
case.
it or not.
Here's my dilemma. Here's my dilemma. We know of a lot of people that have second and third wives. Are we not saying any second wife is an adultery? It is not.
That's exactly my point.
So let's go back to
Once you become
let's
wife,
go back to, so
if you're a side chick, it's different.
if okay, I am married. Yeah.
Men
And
are the hell.
if by
Men are
chance,
the hell.
If by chance,
Men are the
my
hell.
wife catches me, snooping around with some other girl, and there's evidence, it is called adultery.
it's called adultery.
And if she takes me to court, she is within her rights to sue me because I have broken a legal vow.
Okay.
And that's what is going on here.
Okay.
I've broken a legal vow. Whether I am married to this person traditionally or not, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I get where you're coming from. So
I've
like,
broken
they
a
can,
legal
they can
vow.
get him on adultery.
Yes,
But
very
on that
easy.
marrying second wife,
It doesn't.
case,
So
no
if
case.
he marries her, if he
No
marry 10
evidence.
wives, he has a legal contract with a woman who he has not broken that legal contract with. So she has the right to take
so
him to
my
court.
own is this. My own is this. I think when I read about them on social media, I'm always like, people should just leave these guys alone.
I see.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. Because first off,
Like, I don't
this guy
understand.
has never told any. He has not come out to say, "Oh, I'm tired of this." My
I'm
first
sorry,
wife.
I will call that guy out as he is. He's not a man.
How?
Why?
It's very simple.
He has done. He has
the
done.
thing is
He has
this.
done what 1,000,001 men will never
Yes.
have the balls to do.
But the thing
that
is this.
guy,
But the
that
thing is
guy,
this.
Making it public.
No,
You
the
might
Yes.
not
thing
have-
is
yes.
this. The thing is this. If by what you do, you're a social figure, you're in the public eye, people know what you do.
That doesn't
You
define
also
your
owe-
life. That
you also
doesn't
owe-
define your life.
I'm just
though.
saying that you also owe whoever you're with that
Full disclosure.
disclosure. Like you see, it's
Are
very
we
simple.
sure they? So
It's
my
very
own is this,
simple.
are we sure they didn't have that convo?
So the thing is this:
Are
you
we sure
can't
they
eat
didn't
your
have that
cake
conversation?
and
Because
have
of the
it.
things that have
You
been
can't
happening
eat
on
your
social
cake.
media.
Or maybe
Why
they
is
had
it
the
now?
convo. Maybe they had the convo.
Yeah.
But he didn't sit right
He didn't
with
say right
her.
with her. Are we sure they didn't have that
So there's
convo?
nothing she won't do.
At this point, I'm taking the first wife's side because it can easily, as a man, see, I come from a background whereby my father and my wife and my mother were divorced. Divorced, and I know Dek has the same history. You understand? There was a choice. There was a legal
parents-
thing. Like,
my
okay,
parents were
My
no,
father- my
we are
father-
not doing it again. No, you
Okay,
understand?
so- okay.
So
Bro.
my mom is late now, but she can't come out and say, if she were to be alive, she can't come out and say, guy, you went to remarry. She can't say because there was a process.
So
You get what I'm saying?
No, so here's the thing. For me, when people say those things, I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. I come from a background where my father and my mother, they were not, to the best of my knowledge, they were not legally divorced. But I had another wife, right? And I also remember that there was a time that my father was in England and he was living in my mom's house in England. And they were not supposed to be together. So in the real, like you rightfully said that, okay, are we sure that these people are not going to reconnect in the future? And then for me, I always look at it like this. Okay, this young guy has not come out to say, okay, this male, I'm done with her. He just wants a second woman. okay, she got pregnant for him, and he did what a lot of people would not have ever done in their life.
Publicly came out
and said, okay, you know what, I'm standing by her. You don't be like, just say, sorry, but like, give him his flowers now. 1,000,001 men, their wives will find out about their other wives on their burial day.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the thing is this.
You made it public.
You see, we have this very terrible attitude of chastising the people who actually come out to
do what a lot of people
to say the truth.
Exactly.
But you know, ultimately, there are a lot of men who look like, oh my God, this is the model man, and they are terrible.
So for me, it's still very simple. If it's a legal thing, the law is simple. You understand? Whether you come out to say, "Oh God, I stepped out on you. Okay, so I did this, I did that."
Well, I mean, the point is that
you can't be married to two women legally. It's not possible.
The point is that
but he's not legally married to two women now.
But he's already he has a child, so he stepped out on his wife, and that's adultery.
He's not the first man.
It's adultery.
So let's look at this. So the cost of the adultery is 100 million naira.
For what?
Well, nah, cash money now. It wasn't
100 million
former presidential candidate.
Make you go sit down.
It was
100 million.
Do you know what it means to be a former presidential candidate?
So
to buy for me loan.
So this is my opinion on that, their whole entire saga. Like, first of all, when the news broke and she was silent, I was like, okay, what's going on here? In my mind, I'm like, okay,
she's a smart woman.
No, in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe they've had this conversation, and then she's just like, okay, you know what, I'm not going to deal with all of this press attention. And then they lost the kid. And I knew in my soul that was going to be a game changer. Because even when you have a happy family and you lose a child, it's always a very difficult part to go through.
Yeah.
And then she now came out and said, I'm suing this guy. Like, you could have done that last year, though.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But I think, like Dex said, a lot of discussions must have been happening. And because she finally didn't agree with the discussions, she has decided to present the case to court.
I'm still going to say this. If you're not comfortable with a marriage, please go to the court, do the right thing, end it.
But in
your case, legally.
So in your case, he has not told us that he's not comfortable with the marriage.
But the fact that the wife has come out to sue him
shows that she is not comfortable with marriage, not
meaning that they are still legally married.
As far
That's
as
what I'm saying. Anywhere in the world, the woman is in the right to sue him.
Bro, you're missing it all. As far as Yo is concerned, he doesn't want to leave this one. Neither does he want to leave that one. And he's not the first person that wants that.
He can't eat his cake and.
But people have been doing it though.
People are doing it, but that doesn't make it right. And that's the point I'm making.
Okay, so define
that
right.
That doesn't make it right.
Define right. Let's even break it down.
Let me define right. Stay with your wife.
Stay with your wife. But
you don't have to.
We are Africans, and this is not even an excuse. We're Africans. Most of us, almost everybody that I know alive today, your father or your grandfather, or your grandfather is even best. Your great-grandfather was most probably a polygamist, or your grandmother was married more than once. So what are we talking about?
So we've established that fact.
What are we talking about?
But we're still saying that
because we were colonized by people that came and brought their own religion and gave us a way of life. All of a sudden, our entire life should just be wiped away.
But my point is still
Muslims look at us and they are like, Muslims look at people and like.
My point is still that if you go to a court and you get married legally,
which I think is a technical error anyway.
It's simple. It's there. It's there. Like saying that, oh, okay, XYZ, I promise to be faithful and loyal to you. The moment I breach that contract...
everybody that took that vow didn't know what they were doing, though. Let's be honest.
I'm almost with Femi
Everybody that made that vow didn't know what they were doing.
But you know the saying that ignorance is not an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse, but then let's wrap it up like this. At the end of the day, I am looking at people that play the role of second wives. Are they considered as adultery?
So, yeah, for me, it's that simple. If you're acting as a second wife, you're selfish. You're selfish. It's that simple.
Sorry, say that.
If you're a second wife, you're selfish.
Why?
Because I feel that there should only be one wife.
No.
If you're going to get into a relationship with a married man, you have to let him know that he has to leave his wife.
Why?
Legally.
Why?
So because
what if I want to be a second wife?
So the thing is,
what if I don't want you to be in my house every day?
So no.
Why?
We're talking about the law here.
Yeah.
If you want to start another relationship and you want it to be serious up to the level whereby this person is a wife, I'm going to say that women who come out as second wives need to ask the man, please, you have to leave this wife legally.
What if
it's adultery? Adultery is adultery now.
Okay, so I'm 45 years old. I'm a woman. I'm 45 years old. I like a man that is married. Am I not entitled to my happiness?
You are entitled to your happiness, but it doesn't change.
I don't mind being a second wife. Why should you now say I should live in the shadows?
Is there no law that supports this?
In Nigeria, I think no. In Nigeria, law-wise, I think no. I think ordinarily, people just do whatever they want, and they know that. Look,
no,
because
but I think according to Islam,
you can do whatever
you
you
are
want.
allowed to marry
4 women,
4 wives, as long as you can love those 4 women, right? As long as you can love those 4 women equally.
Yeah, but technically, that's
but it's not legal. Don't you get it? Okay, it's like...
No, it's not legal in the western part of Nigeria, because it's not. It's a different ballgame.
Thank you.
That's why we have...
we're talking about technical terms here.
Yeah.
We're talking about technical terms here. And that's why, when it comes to traditional marriages...
Do you guys realize that if y'all was Muslim, we won't even be having this conversation?
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
So I think that's the problem.
We won't.
See, as far as I'm concerned...
For instance, this guy,
most Muslims...
What's his name?
Most Muslims can't file...
If it was the one that took the second wife, we wouldn't even know.
They can't file a lot of legal things. Like, for instance, maybe the husband dies, and then there's, property deeds and all that. A lot of the wives can't file anything because they're not legally.
You guys realize
they're not legally.
You guys realize that if y'all was not a Catholic and it was like, oh, I'm a traditionalist, everybody, no case.
Yes. Now here's where it makes most sense. Yeah. Like Olamide just said, at the end of the day, even in our culture here in Nigeria as a whole, second wives and third wives do not have a claim.
They don't.
They don't have a claim
legally.
Yes. Even when it comes to political office, you have to present your first. You have to present the lady you consider. You have to present the lady.
Was it senator? One of those guys that they were swearing in. You had first wife here, second wife here.
And the first wife pushes the second wife out.
Yes, listen. What's that man's name? The guy that owns the guy that owns the The guys that owns the what's that man's name? Okoya.
Yeah.
That girl, that girl is like his fourth wife.
But this is what I'm saying. You have to present the one that is legal wife. You have to present one as the person that will represent.
Have you seen Okoya Thomas with his wife?
Somebody said that
what are you saying?
Somebody said you don't have enough money. That's why you're talking about sharing property. If you have enough money, and you draft a will, my brother.
You take the house in Banana, you take the house in Banana, everybody's okay.
Do you understand?
So maybe she feels he has 100 million to give her.
Maybe she knows.
Maybe she knows. She knows where the bodies are buried.
I feel like at this point, in my own opinion, I think your May, she has handled everything perfectly up until this point. And now she's like, okay, you know what? I can get my own pound of flesh.
Yes,
and it's
that's
okay.
possible.
Yeah. It's actually okay.
Yeah. Yes, nobody's
okay.
judging her. See, let me tell you something. She has a right to come out to speak. She has a right to come out to sue him.
Yeah.
She has a right to do whatever it is that she chooses to do.
Which doesn't mean she's going to get the money.
Don't forget that this same person is still going through grief.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So there are a lot of things. There are lots of many, different things that are under this whole issue.
I agree with you.
So please, let's leave them,
a lot of you guys, and I'm sure.